Hello and welcome to my next video. This is the Twin Flames Healing Journey teaching series. I am Molly McCord and I am grateful for your presence as we talk about more specifics about this twin flame journey, what is involved, why it can be so darn hard, the pain that comes up, and what it's meant to lead you to. Now, I have a series of videos out that are designed to help you understand the bigger picture of this energy connection, of this spiritual connection between you and another human being on this planet. It is unique. There is nothing else like it, and yet there is such an awakening around this connection right now. And in this video, we're going to talk about something really, really, really important, and that's relationship pains and how twin flames find each other. Because this is such a big part of your life. When you are deeply connected to another person, you have a connection that is beyond mental or logical understanding. It's something else, right? It's a spiritual connection, intuitive connection, emotional. It's that person who activates more within you. Now, in my other video, I talked about how to think of it as being this 3.0 version of a human being. Now, a 3.0 version means that you came in with different features and functions than other human beings, and that's simply by being in this connection. Now, that doesn't mean you are better than other people, but I compared it to, if human beings have a 1.0 version, think about the first iPhone that came out, and it was the 1.0, right? And then the next year it was the 2.0, and it had more features, more functions, more things, more exciting abilities. Now think about the 3.0 version, and that's what I'm talking about as the analogy here with twin flames, is that you are a 3.0 version, and you have different programming, different functions, different features than other human beings, okay? You're just a different, more advanced human being in some ways. And this is a spiritual choice. This is a soul choice. And so when you have this person who's a 3.0 version, well, they come in with different computer software. You have, upgraded HTML code, if you will. You have more that you do and more abilities because your software is programmed at a different level. And when you find that person who resonates with you at that same place, that twin who also has that 3.0 version with the same computer software, that gets activated between the two of you. That computer software that you're both carrying that could have been dormant lights up, and you realize this person is different than anyone else I've connected to, and why is that, right? And you get these questions, and you're trying to figure it out. Well, this video we're talking about what happens before you really connect with that twin flame, or perhaps before you consciously realize that person is someone you're really deeply connected to, but you can't figure out how. So one thing that happens for many twin flames is that you have a lot of relationship challenges, and you have lots of dead ends in relationships. You feel different from other people and their love life. Now, in the first video in this series, I talk about this too, about how, there's many different types of love stories in the world. And the twin flame love story is different because it's about breaking down barriers. It's about, you're expanding what love is. And so there's obstacles and there's challenges because each of you is different in some way than what you thought your mate would be or what you thought your love story was going to be. And then you find that other people do not really match up with everything you need. Now, why is that? Because being a 3.0 version with this different computer software means you want more, or you have different needs, or you're looking for a deeper kind of connection. And this might not even be conscious. This might not even be something you've sat and thought about, but you've wondered, why does nobody else really interest me? Why do I not want to date? Why do I go on dates and people are great, but I feel like something's missing? And so what happens with twin flames is that you have relationship pains, because on a deeper level, on a spiritual level, on a soul level, you know you're looking for that one person who has the same computer software that you do, and that there's like this honing device going on where you're trying to get closer to this other person who resonates with your computer software. And so what you're doing unconsciously is you're looking for that in everyone else. And you're looking for your twin flame connection in everyone else, but nobody else matches it, right? Because only one other person carries it. And so you have perhaps a string of dating episodes that don't go anywhere, or you're in long-term relationships and you just never want to get married, or you get married and it never works out. And what happens is you go through these relationship pains because the other person, who is not the twin flame, is that version 1.0. And again, remember, this is not about a hierarchy of saying, well, you're better than other people, because we know at a spiritual level, everyone is here for a reason. Everyone has worth and is beautiful and has great gifts, and it isn't about a hierarchy. It's about a different kind of programming. And so this twin flame connection gets activated when you connect with someone that isn't who you thought and not what you expected, but you can't deny that connection. And that the relationship pains that you go through involve a lot of karmic energies and a lot of very clear dead ends. Okay? So it's like the relationship ends disastrously. Perhaps you have a repetition of people lying to you, many people cheating on you, people stealing from you, betraying you, people not choosing you. It's kind of like you feel like you're a magnet for all these hard relationship issues, right? And you're like, why do these relationships end? Or what am I doing wrong? And you personalize it because you don't understand the higher perspective. It feels like it's you. It feels like, why can't I fit in with what everyone else is doing? Why can't I have that relationship? Or why aren't my relationships just simple like everybody else's? And by everyone else, you're referring to everyone who is a 1.0 version. And you think about it as, well, of course you, as a 3.0, cannot have a 1.0 version. It's not how you're made. You're made in a different way, but you don't realize that. And it's when we have our spiritual awakenings and we come upon this information, when you have that one person you can't get out of your head, that one person that you realize is for you, but why aren't they ready for you? You can feel like you're obsessed, or like, why am I always thinking about this person? Or you don't understand it, right? And your head just spins and spins. That's part of the activation of that twin flame understanding. And so how it's set up, it's actually set up quite beautifully, and here's the image I get. I get the image of one of those pinball machines. Do you know what a pinball machine is? Where it's they were popular in the 80s, and you put a quarter in and the ball, and you line up you let the ball loose, and then the ball goes through this machine and it hits all these bumpers and sides and things, and it's just like getting knocked around until it gets through that end exit, that hole, that spot on the other end. And so that's kind of what the twin flame relationship patterns are like, is that you are that pinball. and you're just getting knocked around, and it can feel, it's heartache, it's heartbreak, it's pain, it can feel like abuse, like it can feel like this emotional intensity. It's like, what is wrong with me? And you have put yourself in certain situations or chosen certain partners who are meant to help you grow, but ultimately everything in that pinball machine is meant to get you to that right exit, which is that twin flame connection. You see how it's set up almost like you're not supposed to miss it. But you can miss it if you stay in the middle of that pinball machine getting banged around and hit in the head and abused and like all these horrible things. I know it's not funny, but the visual is funny, right? Because it's so, it's so much the reality for so many people who realize they have a twin flame connection with somebody. They're like, that's why this relationship didn't work. This marriage failed. I have this theme in my relationships. I have this pattern that keeps showing up, and I thought it was me. And the more, I'm feeling tears right now because I feel like for some of you, it's been so hard. It's like the deepest pain, right? The darkest, deepest pain. And we put a lot of emphasis and even pressure in our world to have a partner and to be linked to somebody and to be partnered up. And so you feel that externally, it could be cultural or societal programming to get married. When are you going to get married? And then you feel the inner pressure of why aren't I married, or why don't I have a good partner, or why is everyone else doing this and I can't make this work, and why do I go to weddings by myself, and when is it going to be my turn, and when is it going to be my wedding, and then it's your wedding and then it falls apart, and why am I divorcing, why am I getting divorced a few times? I've seen this happen too. I've seen twin flames. I've seen people get divorced 3 times, and they internalize it and they personalize it and they judge themselves, and it's really discouraging, and you think you're messed up, and you just can spiral down because of that pressure to get it right. Why can't I get this right? What is wrong with me? Am I cursed? Is this my karma? And here's what I want to offer you, my friends, is that the higher perspective is that when you truly identify as a twin flame and you understand that you are made differently and that you have different needs and different functions than other people, you have to stop comparing. You have to. Not that I'm the boss of you, but I would really encourage you to stop comparing and stop judging, because you have a different path. And your path is actually higher because your path is connected to unconditional love, more so than other people. Now, everyone is here for a purpose, and we know that in the spiritual perspective, everyone is love and everyone's connected to love. Everyone can be love, but it's different when you are that 3.0 human, because you're kind of held to the fire. Your feet are held to the fire of, can I keep loving myself through all the heartache? Can I understand that I'm worthy, no matter what other people choose or decide? Can I still return to accepting myself and knowing that I'm valuable and knowing that I'm here for a reason and knowing that something amazing is happening even if I can't see it yet? And the pain is really real, and I want to validate it. It's important to validate it and acknowledge it, because that's how you get through it, is by letting it out and breaking it free and not feeling like you have to hold it in. There are times when we do want to go into hermit mode. We shut down, we disappear, we have to be with ourselves. It is a dark night of the soul experience that can last for various amounts of time. But you're going to come back up to the light and to unconditional love, and you're going to see it differently, and you're going to feel it differently. And that's partly why I do these videos, is so that you connect with that sooner. And you can stop taking it so personally, because that really hurts our hearts, right? When we think something's wrong. What's wrong with me? Why am I not able to get paired up or be married or have the kids or do da-da-da-da? Why? Because you are here to be special. And sometimes being special is hard. But you are stronger than that, and that is the reminder you have to keep giving yourself. Now, the relationship pains are really typical for twin flames because, again, you're meant to find that other person, and it's a magnetic connection. Your logical mind will shut it down because it doesn't meet your checklist. It depends how open-hearted you are, actually. If you are approaching relationships from an ego mind or from certain expectations, you'll miss or you'll shut it down, or you'll get some serious knocks on the head so that you see it, so that you won't miss it. That's also a beautiful thing about this connection, is that this person will stay with you emotionally, intuitively, spiritually, energetically, even if they're not physically in your presence, and that's how you know there is that deeper connection. But the logical mind shuts it down. And so in my other videos, I talk about, what the twin flame connection is, like the characteristics of it. And there's mirroring that happens. Like one person shuts it down, so the other person shuts it down. I remember I did that. I'm like, well, there's no way this person is for me because of this, this, and this. And I believe that he thought the same about me. Like, there's no way she's for me because she's this, this, and this, right? And so there's mirroring. So the mirroring happens because that's how that 3.0 computer software talks to each other. That's always there. And then when one person opens that connection and realizes there is a connection to someone that starts in their heart, then it changes how the other party starts to feel, and their heart starts to open too. There's always mirroring. There's always mirroring. So remember, in these videos, I share with you my experience because I want to just, validate what you might be going through too. And I was lucky enough to have coaching. I was lucky enough to have support. I was lucky enough to have a woman, a spiritual counselor, told me, don't shut it down. Go into how you feel. Stay open. And that is when it blossomed for me, because until then I was really shutting it down because this person didn't meet my checklist. And I thought, how in the world would this even work? But it's something bigger. And so I was lucky enough to have a spiritual counselor who could see the bigger connection and could help me open up to that. And the answer to how twin flames find each other is found in their hearts and not in your head. Because, like I said, your head will shut it down, but it's in your heart. It's how you feel. And it's that opening. And in this experience, the heart is the leader. The emotions are the leader. The desire, the passion, the sense of shared goals or shared mission work or shared creativity or shared, that is what shows you the deeper connection here. And what has to be done for twin flames is that you flip some things on their head, literally, because the heart needs to be bigger than what your head says. So you listen to your heart more than you listen to your head. But how many of us really do that? It takes training. And so that's why this twin flame connection, it can take a while to believe it or to see it, to get it. And it helps to have an outside source who can support you, who can say, consider this or look at this. In my own experience, I remember this spiritual counselor who I'm so grateful for opening me up to this, and I asked her, I'm like, well, why didn't I realize this sooner? Like, why, I've known this person for years. Why did I not realize it sooner? And she said, because you weren't ready. Which makes sense, because I had to have certain life experiences. I had to do certain things. I had to mature. I had to grow. I wasn't ready. And that's part of it, too, is that when you're ready, you get that nudge and that understanding. And so you're coming to this information because a part of you is ready. And a part of you is open. And a part of you wants to understand and wants to know more. And you've been through relationship pains and heartaches because your soul and yourself, your spiritual self, knew that there was something more waiting for you. There was something bigger waiting for you. And so you were the ball in the pinball machine, getting knocked around and just having this hard time because all of that was meant to lead you forward into this connection even more. And I hope that feels right for you. I hope that helps bring more pieces together. I hope it helps you step back from judging yourself, comparing, and being hard on yourself, and ultimately returns you to that place of self-acceptance, self-worth, trusting in yourself, trusting really strongly in yourself and the unconditional love you have for yourself, because this healing journey is ultimately all about coming back to how you love yourself, and then that is how you extend yourself into the world, into other relationships, and out there. And so it's all about the inner work, and that is the game changer here. Now, that's also why I have some resources for you below this video that helps you with the inner work and that helps you understand more of what you can do to accept yourself and to love yourself. I think that is really needed right now. And, the other thing I want you to consider is that being different and being special in relationships is not something that we ever expect, and yet it often leads you to more rewards and understanding, and it leads you to it's like a return to your own sense of gratitude. And the people that hurt you, betrayed you, lied to you, did awful things to you, it's almost like you can see how they never were fulfilling for you anyways. And it's almost like there was this grand plan to help you disconnect from them so that you could be more fully you. Now, that disconnection hurt, and it was hard, and maybe you lost something, whether that was finances, property, pride, self-esteem, self-confidence. You felt like you lost something in that connection because of the harm that was done in that relationship or the relationship pains. But all of that will come back around. So don't worry about what was quote-unquote lost. Understand that nothing's truly lost. It comes back around in a different form. Nature abhors a vacuum, so there's going to be something else that comes in, and the next stuff that comes in is going to be a better fit and be truer for you because it's going to match your new level of self-love and self-acceptance, as well as unconditional love. So relationship pains are a big deal. They're common with this connection because it's all part of the grand scheme of things to help you reconnect or connect with that person who is your equal and who radiates back to you more of who you are, just as you radiate back to them more of who they are, which is unconditional love. I hope this video has been helpful for you to gain perspective and understanding. Please check out my other videos in this Twin Flame Healing Journey teaching series. And I thank you so much, friends, for your subscribes, comments, likes, and please know that we are all in this together. I'll see you in the next video very soon.